Okay, so I'm still struggling with this. So I put a nice big thick washer behind it. As you can see, because of the paint has sort of come off, the gently hammer didn't work. The piece of the piece of timber there didn't work with the lump hammer. So yeah, has to happen. This is not shifting. It's just solid. I can't get that nut to shift, and even if I did, it's just going to turn on the threads, and the actual bit is going to spin in it. So this seems to be a lot better. Threads at the back, they're happy. I've been screwing them in, out, cleaning the whole lot. So look, I'm just going to have to keep tapping this lad in, screw him out a bit, get that good and tight, and hopefully it'll come out. It will come out. It's just going to be a matter of being patient and persuasive at the same time. Crack of the sledge, and I mean one, and she's gone. This is screwing off lovely. So this damage was caused by the lump hammer, because I obviously wanted to go, you know, the least, the lightest route I could go, the gentlest route I could go. That's sort of coming out lovely. Just a dirty bead of rust at you will stop it. So that's brilliant. Threads are perfect. That's screwed on by hand. So there was no damage done apart from a bit of paint removed, but I don't think there was any other way. I was going to avoid doing that, because you do need the shock of metal on metal to go in there to actually kind of crack it. So good thick washer. So we'll set up the other side. I'm just going to go and do the same here. I'm not even going to try the front. So okay, so first thing you have to do, this is an original one, it's not 19. So that could be fun. But look, it is coming out. That's what I will say. So our 11/16 needs to be found. Where art thou? Where's the Romeo and Juliet? Come on. 11/16 needs to be found. So I'll get that, come back, we'll loosen them off, and I'll show you how I go about doing this. 11/16 is so important to me that it ended up in my pocket yesterday evening, and ended up in the cupboard inside in the house. And the only saying is you need to have your 11/16 where the hands reach at all times, you know, and it goes in an awful lot. You loosen this off a bit, not too much, if you want to keep as much thread as possible in that nut. You loosen it off within 1 or 2 threads and you whack it, you're just going to wreck the threads, and then it won't want to screw out. It'll twist the shaft that's threaded onto, and you have to cut it off. So this side seems to be a bit tighter, so I have to get a smaller, narrower washer. So we have narrow washers. Whatever works. Slide him in behind, pull this out a bit if you have to. It's all springy anyway. You might have to tap it down, get it right behind the nut. That's good. Try with your gently. It won't say the gently isn't going to be used, and that's not going to be hard enough. But try with timber, at least, shouldn't go damaging things. This is a factory one, so this is on there a long time. Someone was doing baking on this before. It was bent at the bottom, Very strange to see it bent right down there. And that might make life a little bit harder getting this out. That's strange, never seen that before. Few wallops of that. Checking your nut every now and again. Check that your wash is good and tight there. And then tighten up your nut then again and just see. Let it go. That's not far from going, I don't think. Okay, I might get away. Might just get away with putting the bar in behind that. Give him a wallop the old-fashioned way. And wait till we see what we could do. We went something like a timber in there or something. I'll get another bit of timber and we'll wallop it then. And we'll see if that works. Doesn't look too bad. I could be wrong. I might need a lot of bacon. Yeah, I was wrong. But that bit of timber isn't actually doing a whole lot anyway. So we'll go back to our old-fashioned way. I've often just had to hit them and keep a pull on this and it will go. Well, look, we'll win it in the end. Screw back the nut. It's nice and flush with the end. You're increasing the surface area there for the, you don't want to damage any threads. Okay, so we'll push the washer away every now and again when you turn it. Right, I think I'm just going to save a bit of time here. Don't like doing it. Don't like doing it, but I don't think we're gonna. I'll try it one more time with the easier way, the gentler way, and then I'm just going to go and get the sledge and give it a walk because if it spends an hour at this. No, I think we're going to have to be a bit more persuasive, which is fine. It's in there 70 year, boys. Screw out the nut a bit more. Not too much, but a bit. Because you're getting that in behind properly there as well. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I'll move the camera out of the way. Don't like damaging paint and all of that. But I think it's going to be the only option here, I think. I'll put a rag up maybe to reduce the amount of damage. And we'll take our time. Take our time. check it, not hitting it. I'm going to try and hit it at least amount of times to do the job. It is better without any rag, of course. The shock will go through and break this, the bead of rust, but take off the silencer, give me a bit more space. She's still happy where she is. Okay. Loosen out the nut a little bit more. That was good. Chance another wallop. See. There we go. Those are threads. All going well, they'll come off easy. Without twisting the fucking thing. Twisting it a little bit there, is it? That can be a second issue now, so it's coming off there now. Just might do a bit of work on the threads just to make sure, because this is a cone shape at the end of the day, and when you whack it in off the cone, the threads are anyway stiff, but it'll just spin. So what spins is, oh jeez, the little shaft, and there is what spins. So good luck trying to hold that with snouty pliers. Yeah, some of them actually have an Allen key. The modern ones have an Allen key end in the shaft, but that's no good in there where you can't reach it, like so. You just have to take your time now and kind of sometimes just go and tap it back in a bit. Catch the cone, and of course as you screw out the nut it pushes it off the cone like it did there, but then you hope then you get the nut off, and the nut is coming off there, I think. So these are they can be awkward, but we're after when if you fit new ones, don't tighten the hell out of them. They're on a cone, they don't need to be savage tight. There we go. Threads look perfect, and the threads look perfect. That's what you want. Do whatever work you have to do on them. If you take them off, split track to get them able to screw in and out by hand. Beautiful. So that's that. We can turn that out of the way now, because we have to do a bit of work on these lads. Foot pegs, and as I said before, he welded them on here and there, and that's going to make things a little bit awkward for getting in there with sockets. These have to be really tight, so open end spanner is going to be the only option with them. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. But what can we do? They have to come off. I'll just take off the bolt at the back there anyway and get that much done. Right. It's just not ideal when you cannot get a socket on them, because they can be bloody tight. Oh, we'll get that end on maybe. When you start running into, you know, things like that happening, it's not good because you can't get it on it straight. That's not ideal. And then you're stuck working with a 3/8 drive because you need the slimmer socket. And you can do damage then to your 3/8. So, okay, 3/8 is up on the seat. Let's hope that this gets it. Sometimes the whole scoop comes out, and that's no problem at all. So we need extensions on that because that is spinning a bit on the spanner. So we have to get in that nice and straight, whatever we do. That involves tapping it on to the point where you have to tap it out in the vise. So that doesn't want to go in. Big lump of weld is stopping that going in. So we're down to an open-ended spanner. How we under here is going to be the same. And if you take off them 2 bolts, don't really agree now with the welding of that on there at all. It'll make my life a little harder. I don't want to go cutting it either to make a shite of it altogether. Balls, that's that little ball. I might have to get in there with a grinder, grind away a bit of that. I think that's going in the hope, I think. Leave it with me, I'll come back and have a think. I have to get in there at that straight, otherwise it's going to cause a few issues. So I did a bit of grinding, and I can't really get in at the angle I want. So I'm going to chance baiting on 17mm. And hope that that grips it. No. Stop. Pity that bloody thing's welded now. A real pity. I'll just try open end spanners, baiting them on. Not great, lads. No. I can't grind it back enough where I am. I have to get the Dremel at it. Just clear it back a bit to get a socket in there, because I can't get the socket in enough to get a grip. I can try and bait it on a bit more, but maybe a 17 is the way to go. That's a bit better there. Again, it's only a 3/8, so I don't know how strong it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to come off. Have to get some kind of an extension on that, hopefully, and with a bar maybe. Extension and a bar. Shouldn't really be doing this with a 3/8, it's just not heavy enough. Just want to stop it from bending down too much. If I can. Try and keep it as straight as possible. There we go, getting a bit of movement there. Keep her tapped on. Yeah. Wow. Ah. Oh, holy God, that's both, that's tight. Whew. Holy God. There we go. Imagine what's going to be get the one underneath how. When we can't actually get at it now, but an open-ended spanner. Now I have spare foot pegs there if I have to. I even have new footboards painted and all. If I have to. Bottom line is this all has to come off. End of story. That was a workout. Wow. God. Right, so we have one off. The other one's going to be fun, to say the least. Might be able to beat it back enough to get some form of a socket on. It'll be fun though, but it does seem to be in better shape. than the other one. So I'll have to tap out that nut there now and try to tackle the other one. Bottom bolt. Had to make a bit of room there. It's not going on very straight at all. We'll try our best. Hopefully now it'll come off. No, right, I won't be able to get the grinder in there anyway. Oh, that's not what I thought was moving, it's just paint flaking off. We'll get it though. Spinning. Fuck yeah. Just can't get it in enough to grip. What do you do there? 17. Hate doing this with an open end. Hardly going to get the ring on it. If I get the ring on it, I'll be able to get the 11/16 on it. God above. That weld now is the right pain in the hole. Oh yeah, right. Can't find anything. Well, there's. Pull the camera out of the way. What way do we need to look? That's not a great sign of it coming off that easy. Don't be welding these lads, whatever you do. They're making rattling, they're rattling the hell out of the thing. Just put a bit of rubber underneath here. Right, try and tap him on with a socket. It's just not going on straight. No, not an ocean. Now, I do think it's going to come off. We'll get a good grip on it, there's no doubt about it. We'll just have to get a bar for that now and get underneath it and give it a pull. Right, I'm confident we'll get it off. It's a good nick. Yeah. I just hate doing that to open end spanners. At least it's a 17 mil. Don't really use them that often. You see another problem we're going to run into. Because this is welded, the nut is going to come out and get caught on the side of the footboard. Yeah, that could be an issue. We'll get it off and see. Still want to put butcher and footboard at the same time to do. They are a nice tidy job, like. But by God, I tell you to put the material in these tractors. bit of power that had well engineered. I was hoping, I don't know how I'm going to get this nut back on, to be honest with you. I'm not, I'm going to struggle. I have an idea of what I can do. I'll have to bend this up a bit out of the way and bend it back. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to put that nut back on the way things are there. There's no way. There's always a way around it though. 11/16 would be a looser fit on that one. We'll get to the point now where it's getting a little bit easier. It's just how paint and stuff is making it a bit tight. Yeah, so I come back there now and have that off. It's off. No, there's no washers on it. I'll be putting washers on it because what they'll do is they'll allow the nut to come out because there's a step on the casting there coming and that stops you getting your socket on. There's plenty of thread, so I'll definitely put on a good thick washer there. Maybe a washer and a spring washer. So these are dry as hell, it should be greased. And if they're worn, what I do is I put a little bit of a kind of a soft washer in there and I tighten up against it and loads of grease, and that takes the free play out of it. And every now and again you just give them a nip as it wears. Okay, so that's that done. So put that to one side and we're fitting it then on our washers. I've got the top one out. The bottom one is pinched in behind this at the weld, so the whole lot's going to come out in one piece. It's a little bit far from ideal, being honest, but I think it's about all we're going to, without cutting that weld, I think that's the best we're going to get. Putting it back on, that whole stud is going to be stuck in there. It's doable, but it's just not ideal. That's all of it. Kind of become, as long as it's captive, a whole lot will come out. Now I can work on these when I have them off. I can get that stud out. I'd have to do a bit of baiting and bending and grinding and all of that, and I suppose my washers will help a lot as well with spacing those nuts out a bit from the castings, because there's a step in the casting there and there's a snot of weld in the way. So we should be able to make them a little more user friendly. We will be able to. Let's be positive. I'll be able to do a nice tidy grind job on that. And if I get this stud out, I'll put a washer in behind it. And, well, I can't. It's still going to be. I'll have to bend that out of the way. It's still going to be a little bit awkward, especially to get a socket on. And that's always the best option. I never use an open ended. Only on the likes of injector pipes, where you have to actually go in like that. Otherwise I use the ring end. It's a little bit slow now, but we'll get it there. There we go. Okay. And there you go, that's what happens to your front axle then when there's a bit of wear in it there. Once that, let's bend it out a little bit so that we can push the tractor apart. But it's good that they're tight. So let's see what these ones are like. I don't think I actually felt them yet. Tight is good in one way because it means your front axle will be good and steady. Okay, right. There's a bit more weight in the front axle, a bit more slop in the front axle there than I thought. That's fairly bad, but it'll all be fine. Yeah. Okay, so what I like to do now is we put them back in there and just wedge the front axle under here, each side, to stop the engine tipping to one side and I split it. So but I think I'll take a break there now for a while and then catch me breath. So still in a mount for Láthar. There's a bit of a storm actually here. It's not the nicest place to be in this shed when there's a storm, because there's good strong reinforcements there and there, but there's none at the front. So what I do is I put a big lump of timber in front of the tractor and I wedge it there onto tech screws. The whole lot comes in, put a screwdriver through the latch. Yeah, it's not a nice place, it's unnerving. And you see the front of that shed flexing in. So there will be a bit of rattling and stuff going on. A lot of that's just for sheeting on the door. I've shoved some cardboard in there just to try and stop that making too much of a racket. So I've tied the track rods onto the radius arms each side. I have it on jack stands there, I have it on timber, and the idea is that I still have room for a bottle jack to go in under there. Or so I should have room just to, yeah, I can put it in there if I have to. We want this tractor to be as level as possible so that it pulls apart easy. If it isn't, the input shaft is at an angle that catches things. Now, there you go. Global warming and all that. So I have loads of bits of extra timber there, just in case. I wire the axle stand onto the back of the trolley jack, so when I'm pulling it forward, we do have just a little safety measure there that if it did decide to roll off, it will hopefully go on that. I've wedged the front axle there with timber both sides to try and keep the engine nice and straight instead of having to go wump wump either way. It's a bit unnerving when that happens. There are dowels in here as well, and you have to get that lined up for putting it back together. So yeah, it can be awkward if it's not straight. So I'm going to give them timbers another quick tap in. Our trolley jack is in place. It's not the first time it was jacked off. You can see the bit of damage on the oil strainer there. So that's where I like to put that. Yeah, we still have room then to do a bit of fine tuning. These are just all there just in case that decides it wants to be tumbling. I'll be able to start throwing them out hopefully in time. But we still have room in there for our bottle jack. We pile a few of them up and we can make a few fine tunes to the height, the angle of that gearbox when it comes to putting it back together. But until then, I like to just keep a few of them there to hand, just in case things decide they want to take a tumble. I can pull them forward as quickly as possible. So that's just a few safety measures now that I like to have in place. Yeah, so just going to, I haven't taken out any more of the engine bolts. But I just want to make sure now that these timbers are, yeah, that's nicely wedged in. And this one seems to be nicely wedged in, just to help keep everything as flat as possible. Okay, that's good. That should help keep that engine straight coming out, ideally. So what we'll do is start taking out a few of these, loosen them off with the extension, make life easier. I will take them out in order. Some of them will have to be done by a spanner. There's one missing in there. So that's an important one. So before we go any further, I'm going to go and fit one in there from our box of engine nuts, so that we can put that on the cardboard and see. So well, you'll get a bit of wire because that's that angle. Stick a bit of wire down, get an idea of what length we need. That's very important with that. A bit of pressure on there. So where is the hole? There. Fire in the wire. Get it up to the end. Hopefully it goes in. Hopefully it's not the bolt roll off in there. It's hard to take them off. The wire doesn't seem to be going in very far. That's the only thing I will say. I'd like that to go in a bit further. So that's roughly what we're talking there. So we'll just get one there that's roughly that length, like him, and we'll chance him and see. Was it dirt in there or something? But we'll get our 11/16 on the job. Won't be able to get. Don't think we'll be able to get a ratchet spanner on that. And we'll just take the time just to get that fitted in and see if we can get that to bite, because that is important. When you think of it, the pressure is going to be on the bottom of this engine when it's bolted together. So we can get the ring end on anyway at least. So we're just going to take the time and do this now. Yeah, it seems to be biting there. Okay, I'm actually just going to go with that. I suppose we can spend the time on the other side. I'm going to leave that loose there now, so we can put him in order. Lovely. So that straight away is one little issue sorted that we would have to deal with at some point. Okay, so we can try him. Not all of these are going to be accessible with the 1/2 inch drive, so we'll put 3/8 on, or we'll put our spanner on. Good not to have the tractor jacked up at this point, because we'll be pulling and dragging a rooting at it. We can take out this pole. Electricity's flashing a bit, so we could lose power, but sure, look, the storm isn't meant to get as bad to decatter clunk stuff around about 4 o'clock. There is our little template, if we want to call it that. So we'll get the screwdriver, puncture a hole in that, and get that all in order. Saves a lot of messing when it comes to putting it back together. So we'll poke a hole. This is the first one on this side. That's good. Take the next one. Okay, poke another hole. In she goes. So I'm going to leave one fairly snug in there before I go doing a whole lot of jacking up. What I can do, maybe just fit that bottom jack underneath just to do the fine tuning. Just need to find one more piece of timber just to bring that up a little bit. Take out one more bolt out of this, and we'll leave the very, very last one in there. Poke a hole in the cardboard for it. Another one below that. Okay, another one below that. Put it down. So the cardboard's disintegrating a bit. What a man. I don't need the room below that, so I'll put them down here. Let that fell out, throw it back in. Some of these are all different lengths and stuff. Right, so we've one left, we've two left, so we'll take out the lower one. hole. We put this in the lower one. Right, that's good. So now we have the lower one there below that is the last one on this side. So that's there. Okay, nothing else this side. One bolt left. So we'll move around to the other side. We'll see are any of the bolts missing. If they are, we'll roughly get an idea for what's needed. Throw on the work lamp here, and hopefully now, sometimes this work lamp can, that's not too bad, is it? The radius arms are a little bit in the way, but look, you'll get the idea. Checking for missing bolts. Okay, so we have this side here. We have a few in from the start. We 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. So that's good. So we need number 4. We're going to leave him in, like we did on the other side. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. So that's 4. We'll leave him in. We'll take numbers 5 out. Loosen 6 and we're at it. Yeah. And the very bottom one is in. That's a spanner. I think you can get a spanner to get in there. So that's good. So we'll take out number 4 and 5. Put them in the car. I'm going to take out the one below. Interesting, you see there that someone already had a bit of a washer in on this side here, so we'll leave that there and we'll put it on the outside. That's for the radius arm, the ball and the radius. Someone had already done their little modification to it, bit of take up a bit of slop. Okay, and the very last one I think is a spanner only. Yeah, we'll get our 11/16 for that, lad. And we should be good. Then just one bolt each side. I need to give him a tap or something. I'd say he's a little bit tight. Again, just sitting on both each side and sitting on the dowels as well. So it's perfectly safe and stable there now. And of course it has that stud on the very, very top as well. So no issue. This bottom bolt just takes a few minutes to get, well, it takes a while to get out. So I'll come back when we've got off and we'll see what's next. So there's our full ring of engine bolts and nuts in that case, apart from the 2 that are still holding in the engine and the holes for them, right? The other thing I want to say about engine bolts is check them for tension every now and again. Vibrations and all of that, or you might have put in the engine yourself after doing a clutch or a C or whatever, and you might have tightened up 1 or 2. Go around them with your 11/16, give them a nip, even just a spanner, check them. So that's top tip. That's good and tight, that one there, so put on the extension. Lovely. So all going to loosen him off a little bit, and I'm going around the other side, and I'm going to just loosen him off a small bit, and we're going to start taking up tension on the trolley jack. Okay, you can see straight away that there's a crack coming there, so it's starting to want to move naturally because the trolley jack isn't taking up pressure. So we want that to take up a bit of slack. So I just want to make sure the trolley jack is centralised. It seems to be very good. I want to make sure that a piece of timber is far enough back just to grab where we want. Grab. I want to pull it out this way a bit. Same amount of timber sticking out both sides if possible. Okay, there's a kind of square lad on the end of the trolley jack. I want him sitting square as well. So let down the trolley jack. It's not. This trolley jack wasn't working yesterday even when I tested it, so I just needed to top up the oil. Just as when I tested it, because otherwise things could have got ugly. Right. So I want that to kind of sit possibly in there. I'm going to get as much surface area, the flat surface area there. And I just want it to sit out the same amount, but we'll take up a bit of slack. If you have another person knocking around when you're doing this, it's way better idea than doing it on your own. So it's just taking up slack there. A bit of it. You can see that she's starting to split herself there now, so a bit of pressure should straighten that back up. And it's not, so you have to go a bit more on the jack. You want to see this kind of, you don't want to lift in the back. Obviously the gearbox is always going to end up with that hinging and all of that. Plenty of trolley jacks in place. What we can do is we can lift our bottle jack here as well, and now we're getting straight or crack there. And it's nearly wanting to split itself there. Well, you can see the split is coming in that a bit more evenly. Some people like to push the back of the tractor backwards. I don't. I prefer to push the front of the tractor forward. Just the way We don't have our handbrake working, as I'm still waiting for that part. It's getting very hard to get that there to hold this on. So we don't have our handbrake on as such, but we can wedge it on, I'd say, with something like a bit of timber maybe. Might grab it a bit like that, just to hold things, and we'll put timber down each side of the rear wheel. So we'll just put our bolts off to one side. We have to add 1, 2 pane of dough. So we've got some timber there. I'll give that a tap in with a lump hammer. I'll get 2 more for the other side. Two more for the other side, and I'll come back. Right. So take out that, put it on our side meant to be on. Two things at the side. Okay, so it's still sitting on the dowels there, and the thing about the dowels is when I push or pull that front of the tractor forward, it can all of a sudden drop. So that's why I'm looking for the thickness split here, all around. Doesn't look too bad. I'll check my timber. Timber looks good. It's right there where we want it to be. Our trolley action follows. So what I'll just do is just give it a nudge forward on the wheels, and we'll just see how does it feel. Does it want to come forward? Does it need a bit of a lift on the gearbox? We'll have a look at the split. I don't see anything else holding the tractor together. We're right. Get your wheels nice and straight. Yeah. Okay, might get a screwdriver in there. Need to have a hinge bar there as well for when the gap becomes a little bigger, we can just give it a nudge. For now, I just want to see how this one splits. So it's coming together off fairly nice. Little lift on that gearbox, and we could be good. So we'll just see if it come off the dowel. I think it has. It's just about off the dowel. This is where you just want to be careful, right? Now you could just push it off and be grand. It's only a small tractor. So there's your dowel just in there. So now two things can happen. It most likely will fall down fully on the front jack now, on the trolley jack. So just the best thing to do is try and keep your gearbox lifted up a little bit to make sure that splits nice and even. It's fairly even there. I don't think it's going to go causing much problems, but you just don't know. Trolley jack is following us as well, and that is real good, just in case things wanted to take jump up. Whether it will catch it or not, I do not know, but it's another little lifeline. It's another little lifeline. And what I'm just going to do is, because it wasn't going in enough, I'm just going to wire that piece of timber to it, and that'll just, if it did come off the trolley jack for whatever reason, I'd hope it would just catch that. So I'll just wire that on and come back.